good, everybody? It's your boy Todd here once again, alongside my special guest, Craig Perkins, and my tag team partner, Dale Clifford, who you're not seeing currently, but we will be getting to him in a couple minutes here. Welcome to our special edition of No Gimmicks podcast dedicated to the latest WWE 2K release, WWE2K17. So this game was recently released for a couple of gaming systems. Craig and Dale had the opportunity to play the game on the PlayStation 4. So, Craig, how do you feel about the audio presentation of WWE2K17?
Audio specifically, there's a few aspects to the audio. You got the commentary, you got the music, you got the soundtrack. All in all, I'd say it's about a 3.5 out of 5 on the No Gimmicks Scale.
Okay.
But the reason why it's not a little better, I think the soundtrack to the actual game is a little lacking. It's only about 15 to 20 songs, and there's a lot of broad genres, like many different genres you can choose from. So if you don't want a certain genre, you're going to go down to like 10 songs or something that are just going to keep repeating over and over and over.
Okay.
But the music for the wrestlers is all authentic. All their entrances are really good. The commentary, of course, is terrible because it's always terrible in every game.
It's been that way for a long time now.
Right. But overall, even that's not as bad. So 3.5 out of 5 is what I would give it.
Okay.
Let's hear Dale's take on the audio.
What up, guys? Absolutely excited to be able to give a review of WWE 2K17. I'm a huge video game guy. The game I play all year long is the wrestling games from WWE. Looking forward to doing exactly that. With this one, I even went out and got the special edition NXT box this year. First time I've ever done a special edition. It gave me access to Shinsuke Nakamura, Apollo Crews, Nia Jax, and then I got a couple memorabilia things that are pretty cool that you kind of see behind me there. So let's go ahead and get to the audio of this thing. Just absolutely fantastic audio, I think, to it. My only flaws might be in the commentary, probably. That's an audio thing. I don't know. That might just be a commentary knock. But audio issues that I thought were the biggest things to me were in the entrances of the New Age Outlaws and Enzo and Cass. When Road Dogg and Enzo are doing the entrances for each star, you can't really hear them because the crowd volume is really high. Maybe that can be adjusted in a setting. But straight out of the box, right into play, that's the only knock I've got on the audio. So I'll go with a 4.5 for the audio.
So now let's talk about the graphics presentation for WWE 2K17. Now, I'm on the outside looking in here. I did not have the opportunity to actually play WWE 2K17, but just by seeing the presentation from some of the stuff I've seen on YouTube and like on some of the commercials, the graphic presentation looks absolutely phenomenal for this game. I mean, almost spot on, realistic. If I had to give it a personal grade, I'd probably actually give it a 5.5 on the No Gimmicks Scale. However, Craig, you did have the opportunity to play. You have some opinions and some different things to say, so I'm kind of eager to hear what you have to say here.
I'm almost right there with it. 4.5 out of 5 is what I'm going to give it, which is, it's really good.
Yeah.
And the character models for this game, even the older guys, everything spot on. Only thing I'm going to have, a little nitpicking here, is if you're creating a character and then you give it longer hair,
okay,
and you turn certain angles, the hair disappears.
See, that's definitely an issue there.
Things like that.
Okay.
And they've also introduced promos this time around, which is, I think, a really good idea for maybe down the line when they perfect it.
Yes.
But for right now, the facial expressions during the promos leave a lot to be desired.
Gotcha.
So that's where it falls a little short. But everything else, it really is. Even the menus, everything's fluid. Very well done. 4.5 out of 5.
All right. So, Dale, let's hear what you have to say about graphics.
The graphics for WWE 2K17 are absolutely phenomenal. Vast improvements from Roman Reigns from last year's edition. New guys that you kind of get to see. A lot of the women weren't in last year's game, so we're getting a first look at them. Obviously, the character model for Dana Brooke is probably the worst character on the game. But outside of that, we're getting to see the women for a few of the women for the very first time. We're getting a look at AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Apollo Crews, as I had mentioned, and several other new characters. Dash and Dawson, American Alpha. So I was like, I've got to give the graphics a 4 out of 5. As like, I absolutely think WrestleMania 31 that took place in Santa Clara, the outdoor arena there, the graphics for capturing that building are just absolutely phenomenal. You've got the 3 settings to it: a day, an evening, and a night. And absolutely wrestling in the day in that building is just absolutely phenomenal with the shadowing and everything like that. And then you've got a spotlight when you move into The crowd, so very cool with the lighting. I absolutely think the graphics are a 4.5.
So in the gaming world, basically, it does not matter how great a game looks, it's about how well it plays. This is my biggest gripe that I have about the WWE 2K games. The fact that it looks absolutely amazing, but the game controls and the way that you actually execute the moves, the system is crap. Now, Dale will sit up here and go back and forth with me on this all day long. Craig, how do you feel that the gameplay felt on WWE 2K17 on the PlayStation 4?
Okay, it's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. It's in the middle. It's like another 3 out of 5 on the No Gimmicks Scale.
Okay.
It's not button mashing at all.
That's good to hear. I'm
Which
glad
is
it's
good.
not that.
Which is good. And they've actually perfected a way where you can actually kind of go back and forth in a way where you actually take control for a little while, like in a real wrestling match, where it's not just counter after counter after counter after counter, where it can be sometimes. But for the most part, you can gain an advantage and have a 3, 4, 5 moves in a row.
Okay.
And then finally, the other person will take over, and they'll go back and forth for a while. Okay. So in that aspect, I kind of like that. It's a little bit more realistic.
So it's more balanced.
Right, it's more balanced, yes. The controls to do the moves, once you learn them, pretty easily done. And the finishers are all easily done, and everything looks good. It's a little slower in a way that almost might be a good thing.
Okay.
And like I said, about a 3 out of 5 because there's always room for improvement with controls.
All right. So on the No Gimmicks Scale, you give it a 3.5 out of 5. So Dale, let's hear what you have to say about the gameplay. Sell me on the gameplay, my man.
So we're to the gameplay of WWE2K17. I think I got to go with a 4 on this one. There's some good things that it does. It's changed a couple things. Like when you climb the ladder, the little ladder mini game is a little bit different. Instead of kind of just doing the reach and pull and just kind of hoping over the course of time to wear the thing down, you've got to do the mini game, which lets you see how much pull you're doing on the belt over the time, which I kind of like there. Don't like, though, that I'm struggling to be able to turn the wrestlers around to get a couple extra moves into the match for the behind the back moves. 2K16, it was a real quick one little button push that got them to flip them around so you can grapple from behind. Struggling with that one. Struggling with the gameplay on figuring out how to pull the ladder out for the one that drapes over the ring and the barricade. Maybe if you guys are watching, you can help me with a little tip on how to do that. Or maybe it's just a certain character I was trying to do with AJ Styles wasn't really working too well. So I've got to go with a 4. I just think that easy grapple system, though, so that's good. But difficulty and a couple of the other things that I'm not really a super fan of. So not too much of a hard criticism, but I'll just go with 4.
So we have to keep in mind here that we are actually reviewing a video game. But a very important aspect of these WWE 2K games and wrestling games in general is how much do the characters on screen actually play like their real life counterpart. For example, if I'm using somebody like John Cena, is John Cena going to come off the rope possibly with an elbow drop, or is he going to come off the top rope with a 450, which is very unrealistic? So Craig, enlighten me. How's the realism factor on this game?
You can be at ease.
Okay. All right.
They all have their own individual
No hold you to
movesets.
that.
They have their own individual movesets. John Cena is going to come off with elbows and short and axe handles and things like that. And he's not doing any 450s. He's not doing any moonsaults.
Good.
Now,
One more to hurt himself.
We'll get into the create aspect later, but you can edit anybody's moveset.
See, that's
so
cool.
you can give Big Show Rey Mysterio's moveset.
That's scary.
Which is crazy. But but the initial movesets that they're all built in with, they're all pretty realistic. They all are, and they're spot on, they look great. And yeah, I would give this a 4 out of 5 on the No Gimmicks Scale.
Sounds good. Dale, what do you have to say about the realism factor?
All right, to realism. One of the biggest things about video games, especially when you're talking about the sports realm with Maddens and baseball and MLB The Shows and NBA 2K and WWE2K17, is trying to match what you see on TV or at an event when with the real life things. Which I think realism kind of for sports games is the whole package of graphics and everything like that, and audio, which we've touched on. So really, I've got to kind of just stick along the lines of where I've been going. It's a 4, but I do think it still struggles with the specialty matches like ladder matches and table matches and stuff like that, because I think it is still too difficult kind of just to maneuver your way through using the ladders and using the tables, as opposed to what you would see in real life when they don't really struggle with those things. They know it's coming and stuff like that. The table match setups have gotten better, but I don't like the mechanics of the ladder match. I don't know really if they can fix those or not, but I still think they're kind of a little bit behind on that, so it's a 4. But outside of that, the realism is right there. It's got the graphics, it's got the audio, as I touched on earlier. So
Craig, I have to ask, what would make me want to keep playing WWE 2K17 over and over again? My whole thoughts on this is there's no fun in playing a game, getting to the final stage, or in this case, winning the championship, and then all of a sudden you're done and then you don't want to play anymore. What keeps you coming back to WWE 2K17?
Well, undoubtedly, it's the create system.
Okay.
Because it's so in-depth. It's way beyond just creating a wrestler, which, by the way, is crazy. I mean, eyebrows, every little aspect.
Lots of depth.
Yeah, I mean, everything you could possibly imagine. And every kind of character, every kind of anything you want is there. Everything. So that is amazing right off the bat. But you can also create a championship.
Okay.
From scratch.
That's cool.
You can use an old one and adjust it. You can make a brand new one.
Mm-hmm.
You can create an arena from scratch.
Nice.
Stage, lighting. You can have the old arenas. You can have the old Raw is War entrance. With
I like it.
They have every Raw opening song that they've ever had.
Okay.
You have to unlock a lot of these things.
Gotcha, of course.
But I mean, you could right from the start. You can go Raw is War and make that your Raw show.
Mm-hmm.
There's what I'm referring to with that is there's a My Universe mode and there's a My Career mode. The My Universe mode is you create the shows.
Mm-hmm.
You create the matches. You do whatever you want to do, anything you want, and then you can play anyone that you want to play.
Okay.
And you can assign the championships at the beginning to whoever you want to assign, and then you can make them defend them as you go. You could simulate the matches, or you can play them yourself. Whatever you want to do. And it's a calendar, so you just go all the way, and there's pay-per-view events and WrestleMania and everything. And then there's also the My Career mode. You create your own guy, and you carry him, and there's a whole story behind that, where you become a Paul Heyman guy, and he takes you under his wing, and then you and Brock are like a team for a while. And like there's all kind. It's pretty in depth, and I think the creative mode is so big and so elaborate that you're going to come back mostly for that.
I must say I'm a little intrigued now, even to play this game myself eventually.
Yeah, I would say that's going to be another 4.5 out of 5. 4.5.
Got you.
I don't give out 5s easily, but
hey, I can see that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Pretty good for me.
All right.
And what do you think, Dale?
replay value, very big thing when you're going to go out and spend the amount of money that you do on certain types of video games. I think WWE2K17 has a good replay value, except for me, it's not in a one-on-one match. I kind of get bored with those ones. The replay value comes in the specialty matches, the ladders, the TLCs, the Hell in a Cells, triple threats, fatal four-ways, those type of matches, just because you've got so many other performers and superstars in the ring that you got to try to deal with instead of just the one guy. So for me, the replay value is probably at a 4. Could be a little bit less. It's like I kind of get myself bored with one-on-one matches, but I'll elevate the replay value this year because you've got the multiple universes that you can set up on universe mode, so that's kind of cool.
Okay, Craig, so we've discussed audio presentation, graphics, the gameplay, realism factor, also replay value. If you had to give this game, WWE2K17 for the PlayStation 4, an overall grade on the No Gimmicks Scale, what grade would you give it and why?
All right, I'm going to give it a solid 4.
4, okay.
4 out of 5 on the No Gimmicks Scale. The replay value, going back to that, the create mode is so expansive. It's so good. That is my main driving force behind this grading. Don't get me wrong, the My Universe is very fun, creating your own match cards. And again, that's still going on to create.
Yes.
But that's fun. The career mode is fun. Always fun to create a character and see the storyline that they have for your character that they built into the game. It progresses right along, and you can go all the way to the Hall of Fame, I believe.
Okay.
I didn't play that much, so I believe that's the Hall of Fame. But So that would be my main driving force behind the 4 out of 5.
So those are the positives. So what are the negatives?
Well, there was this mode called the Showcase mode in the past, and people really liked that. It would take a current superstar and go through, I believe it was an older gimmick that they actually had in a storyline that they had in the past, and you would play it in the game. Mm-hmm. And you would go through other wrestlers and open them up and unlock them so you can play with them that they weren't originally there with the original cast characters. And that mode is taken out. It's not in. It's not in.
Should not have done.
Right. It's not in this mode. It's in, I believe, an expansion pack or possibly the NXT version. I didn't get either one of those versions. So I got the original version. It's not in that. I know people were upset with that.
Okay.
But, and then of course what we talked about before with some of the audio issues with the commentary and the facial features. But again, overall, I'm going to give this a 4. It's a good game. It's fun, and you should have a lot of fun playing it, and you should have a lot of fun in terms of time spent. It's gonna work for you well for a long period of time.
So wish list for 2K18. What are some of the things you hope to see them improve upon?
That promo mode that I was talking about. There's a lot of potential there.
Okay.
It's not well executed. It's the first time out. I'm sure they were just trying it out to see. I mean, there's no audio when you're doing your promo. It's just the character moving the mouth, and the text is on the bottom.
That's lame.
It is very lame, and the text itself is pretty lame. It's not well done.
Or so I've heard.
Right, but again, it's got potential. If they do it right, that's going to be really fun because they grade you on it, and the promo is part of your character development.
Right.
And how good your character can be. You have to be good at promos too, which again is in real wrestling.
Yes.
So it's got potential. I would love to see that get a little better. Give me a little more music on the soundtrack, and I'm going to be a happy camper.
All right. So a 4 out of 5 on the No Gimmicks Scale is your overall grade. So Dale, what do you have to say? What's your overall grade on the No Gimmicks Scale for WWE 2K17?
All right. Last but not least, it's the overall breakdown. On the No Gimmicks podcast scale from 1 to 5, it's got to be 4. Pretty simple there to figure out kind of where I was going. Most of my ratings have been in the 4 to 4.5 range. So I'll go with the 4 on this one. In some areas from 2K16 it improved, as I've touched on those. In some areas I still feel like it's a little not quite there yet. So it's not a complete game because it's like they added some things, like you get the promo generator in a universe mode, but it doesn't quite fit yet. It's a very nice touch, but it's got some room to grow. I think ladder matches and the specialty matches have room to grow, like I've touched on. So it's definitely a 4. Look forward to continuing to keep playing it though. Like I said, I played WWE basically all year once it comes out, and then all the way up until the game the following year comes out. I just absolutely love these games, so it's a 4. What you get though is, like, again, year over year, you've got the game issues where it wants to adjust. It adds some things, takes some things away year over year with these game releases. You're not going to get a perfect game, but I'll take a 4, and I want to get back to the action.
Please visit our official YouTube channel. You can find us by searching the No Gimmicks Podcast YouTube on Google. If you would like to receive our notifications when we release our new episodes, please subscribe to us. We would also like to hear from our viewers, so please leave us some feedback in our comments section. Also, please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at the No Gimmicks PC. Be on the lookout for my updates on my personal LinkedIn account weekly, usually on Monday afternoons. And please remember that sharing is caring. Feel free to share the links to our episodes with other pro wrestling fans and on your social media accounts as well. That does it for this episode of the No Gimmicks Podcast. For my tag team partner Dale Clifford in Fernley, Nevada, this is Todd Smith in Bristol, Connecticut signing off. Until next time around, y'all take care.